While people do enjoy being immersed in the vibrancy and activity of urban places, we also enjoy less active space and places that borrow activity rather than generate it themselves. While the deck is for the use of hotel guests and residents only, it really is a key feature of the development as a whole, and plays an important role in nurturing its social heartbeat by establishing a mutually beneficial relationship between public and private space. While the entrance is formal and speaks a lot to the facade of the architecture, the design response for the spaces on the second level at the rear are deliberately more playful and somewhat left of centre. This deck is long and narrow, measuring some 100 metres in length, yet it's just 8 metres wide. This linear platform is divided in two by an open area of paving that provides a central meeting point. To one side, the deck offers a passive experience. It is open, you can more or less see to the end. It is a place to go for a quiet walk, to sit, or perhaps practice some of those new yoga moves. The other end is designed to invite and accommodate more social interaction in an intimate garden setting. A narrow path featuring a textured and contrasting material like cobblestones cuts through large format tiles, following the stylized contour lines of a rice terrace. Following this path from one end to the other offers a meandering walking circuit through the various spaces and activities across the deck. At the far end of the deck, a generous expanse of manicured lawn marks the most passive end of the space. This is the quiet end, if you like, with a few benches for good measure. I think this is the sort of place people would like to sit on a blanket in the afternoon or have a picnic with young children. It has a more traditional garden feel about it, with the cottage-like plantings providing a soft sense of enclosure. Running along the edge, a timber deck spanning some 30 metres creates a promenade above the retail shops of the laneway. The balustrade wall has been replaced with toughened glass to allow direct visual connection between the two levels, the lower level borrowing the green view of the trees planted above. Small-scale seating for just one or two people proposes quiet activity such as chatting with a friend, reading a book, relaxing, or just watching the shoppers walk by down below. By now you may be wondering what these unusual looking planters are, mass planted with rushes or some sort of reeds or rice. In fact, they are rain gardens, a series of connected sunken garden beds that, like the tree pits at ground level, are a fantastic element of water-sensitive urban design. Each garden harvests water from both the paving and the rooftop, literally flooding during heavy rain. In fact, the top of the soil is set down around 30 centimetres so it can completely fill with water. Then it filters through the soil and drains away, cleaning the water before it gets delivered to underground tanks or the stormwater system. These are a feature I introduced to the deck just to give you an alternative to the age-old water harvesting and storage practices, something that could set this project apart in environmental standards. Back towards the centre of the deck, under the trees, an area dedicated to children, featuring interpretive play equipment that could reference elements of the history of the rice miller or Penang in general. The park benches are carefully designed and crafted from local materials, and would speak of the quality of the development. Walking back towards the hotel, the visitor encounters a series of small timber pavilions of differing sizes, set amongst lush garden beds that provide some low-level screening between them. Constructed from a combination of modern and traditional materials, each is light and visually permeable while still offering a sense of privacy. Drawing on the iconic shop houses of Georgetown, these 5 contemporary imitations play an essential role in promoting both the identity of Rice Miller and an urban lifestyle. They are designed in every way to invite use and interaction. The open shutters are an immediately recognisable architectural element and invite the user to venture to the end of the pavilion, with the anticipation of being able to look down to the carriageway. whether these shutters could be opened and closed, coloured or natural. The main idea here is that they are recognisably Penang, a play on such a familiar site. Interestingly, these new structures are actually located directly opposite an existing derelict building with a shuttered facade overhanging the same carriageway. From the street below, the playful colours of the shutters are almost like a series of flags or banners. In a bold design act, each pavilion actually projects through the balustrade wall and over the carriageway below. With its elegant roof and delicate timbers, the design of each should reflect the attention to detail found everywhere in the rice miller. This is a great spot to have a drink with friends, celebrate with family, or simply relax out of the sun amongst the best plants Penang has to offer. The interior finishes and material combinations could be uniform or varied to give each one its own identity. At the far end, the fifth and smallest shophouse pavilion comes complete with kitchenette and barbecue for the use of residents or even hotel staff if there's an event on in the neighbouring terrace. It has its own servery window, kitchen sink, refrigerator and storage, providing everything you need to cook outdoors. This is another great reason to get together at the rice miller. I really think this deck could offer the project something different that you won't find anywhere else, where the focus is not so much on providing a viewing garden, but rather one which is useful, which does things, and most of all, which gets people talking.